You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 127.1.2, our boys basketball week in review for the Hoosier Conference East Division, Tipton, Western, and Hamilton Heights, our Hoosier Heritage teams, Tri-Central, Sheridan, Taylor, and Eastern, and our only Three Rivers Conference team, Northwestern, with interviews with Hamilton Heights head coach Chad Ballenger and Tri-Central head coach Cam Hindman.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we wish you the merriest Christmas in the history of Christmases. Today is December 24th. It's a Tuesday. It's also Christmas Eve, but it's still a day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. I'm at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Producer Susie is sitting beside me. Welcome to the Boys Basketball Week in Review for the Hoosier Conference East Division, the Hoosier Heartland, and Northwestern, our only Three Rivers Conference team. This is our second of four segments for the Week in Review for Boys Basketball. We'll have a couple more of those coming up for you in the next couple days. That is our Christmas present to you. However, we suggest that you don't ignore your family and listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Instead, you probably could do it all day with all the segments that we've released recently. But it is a podcast, so you can listen to it anytime. But if you need a break from your family, we are here for you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We also have 4 Girls Week in Review segments that we've released, I believe, 2 of those with 2 more to come. We'll also have some Pacers, some college football, Will Rutherford's 5 questions that need answers, our boys basketball and girls basketball holiday tournament previews are coming up. We're staying busy for you during the holiday season. We start this segment with the Hoosier Conference East Division and go from the top of the standings to the bottom. Western has already clinched the Hoosier Conference East Division just a month into the season. The Panthers have a 6-game winning streak, and during that time beat 2 of the other 3 teams in the conference. No matter what happens against Logansport, Western will be the division champion and play for the conference championship later this year. The 6-game winning streak is Western's longest since December 27, 2022 to January 14, 2023. They clinched the division with a 47-45 win at Hamilton Heights on Friday. Senior Hudson Biggs had 18 points. He was 8 for 10 from the field. He also had 13 rebounds. Junior Carter Biggs had 12 points. He was 2 for 2 from behind the three-point line with 6 rebounds. And senior Sam Thurston had 9 points, 3 rebounds, and got a special shout-out from his coach on Saturday's podcast for his play in the win. Western will put its winning streak on the line at a holiday tournament at Lebanon. It's an 8-team, 2-day, 3-game tournament starting against 2-6 Perry Meridian at 1 o'clock on Friday. We'll talk with Western head coach Cam Bennington about the field at Lebanon on Friday's holiday tournament preview show. Hamilton Heights is 4-4 overall and 1-1 in the Hoosier Conference. They lost 47-45 at home to Western on Friday, and then lost 84-67 against West Lafayette at home on Saturday. Heights also goes to an 8-team, 2-day, 3-team holiday tournament at Switzerland County. They face 4-0 Paoli in the tournament's second game, Friday at about 11 a.m. On Monday, I spoke with Hamilton Heights head coach Chad Ballenger about his team's weekend and the start to the season.
Yeah, we had a big hiccup Friday, and those are ones that, you got to just try to avoid. It was a big conference game, and it's going to sting for a while, but, you can't look back. You got to keep looking forward, but that's a game that we definitely let slip away. We were up 6 at the half. We got up 8 in the third, and we went 6 straight possessions where we didn't score and they didn't score. and we took some really bad shots. And, just watching the film, that's a game that we probably should have been up 12 or 14. And then that's one we probably hold on to win. And we still had a chance to win. We had 2 shots at the end, and just let it slip away, and it's at home. So that's going to sting for a while. But Saturday against West Lafayette, we actually played a little better and shot the ball really well. But just a really good basketball team that had good guards that shot it really well. And, you can't win very often if you give up 80. And we gave up 80 points. And we scored ourselves, but just a weekend that we probably really digressed back a little bit.
What do you think the difference was, the biggest factor between winning 4 out of 5 and beating some good teams in there, and going 0-2 last weekend?
Yeah, that's, I tell our guys, we had a little talk again today. Basketball is easy. It's we just have people that complicate it. But
That's right.
The pros and the college do the same things we do, and sometimes we think it takes rocket science, but it's taking care of the basketball, rebounding, and taking good shots are going to win you a lot of games. And when you don't make shots and you take bad shots and you turn it over and you get out rebounded, you're not going to win very many. And this weekend we took a lot of bad shots. We weren't as patient, and we just made errors that aren't going to win you games. And so we've talked a lot about that on Saturday in film session and today at practice. Like, just make the game easy, don't overcomplicate it, and we're going to be pretty good. So just simple things.
Tell me a little bit about Gavin Saunders and about his game.
Yeah, Gavin's really came on. He's a transfer for us from Westfield. Played with us all summer. Fit in from the get-go. High academic kid, great honor student, wants to play at the next level. We've already got Adrian College out of Michigan. We got some schools looking at him. He's going to be able to play at that next level. Very coachable, absorbs everything, can shoot the ball at a high level. Against Logansport, he hit 12 of 20 from 3. He set our school record. Our old record was 9. So he's just shooting at a really high clip, and he's brought energy to us. And we saw it this summer. And I told our coaches after this summer, I said, he's going to have multiple games where he's in the 30s. I just didn't realize it would be that early in the season that he would go for, 40 plus.
44,
and he had 2 threes go in and out, and he missed a dunk and a layup late.
Wow.
And he would have had 50. And here's the kicker. He only played 20 minutes.
Wow.
He was in foul trouble, and then we got a big lead, and we set him out quite a bit in the fourth quarter. So he did that in 20 minutes of work.
So you just set him up?
Yeah, I mean, it was all, we got him coming off screens, and, we've had some really good players in the past. Gus Etchison had multiple games of 40, but Gus played point guard for us, and the ball was in his hands a lot. But what made this different was Gavin's 2 or 3, and everybody got him the ball. We ran sets. He came off of screens. He didn't create a lot himself. It was his teammates setting him up and get it to him. So that was pretty special. That's a pretty good night of basketball.
Tipton went 2-0 last week after going 0-2 the prior week. The Blue Devils are now 4-2 overall, 1-1 in the Hoosier Conference. They beat Muncie Central 59-50 on Tuesday, shot 54% from the field as a team. Senior Grady Carpenter had another huge night, almost had a triple-double, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Senior Sam Quigley had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists. And sophomore Quinn Smith was 2 for 2 from the field, 1 for 1 from the three-point line, and had 5 points, and they were some big ones. They won Friday 67-52 at Logansport. They led 37-20 at the half. Carpenter, another huge night, 26 points on 11 of 19 shooting with 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and is the best defender I've seen so far in Central Indiana. Quigley had 15 points, 4 assists. Sophomore Peyton Aller, 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. The Blue Devils are off until the new year, Thursday, January 2nd, when they go to a 4-team 2-day tournament at Clinton Central. They'll face 5-1 Clinton Central in the opening round at 6:30. To the Hoosier Heartland Conference, where Sheridan is on top of the standings. They are 6-1 overall, 3-0 in the conference. The other conference unbeatens are Carroll and Taylor. They're both 1-0. The Blackhawks improved to 3-0 in the HHC with an 83-49 win over Eastern on Friday. They shot 57% from the field. Senior Caleb Bright had a huge game. He was 9 for 12 and finished with 27 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. Sophomore Trey Page hit 7 3-pointers in the win. He was 7 for 16 from deep, finished with 25 points. Junior Devin Hamilton had 14 points. He was 6 for 9 from the field and also had 5 assists and 5 rebounds. Sheridan then won their 5th straight game, 53-43 over Frankfurt on Saturday. Wright had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Page 9 points and 4 rebounds. Junior Chance Spencer had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And Hamilton had 7 points and 4 rebounds. Sheridan hosts a 1-day holiday tournament Saturday. They play 0-8 North White at noon, then play either 3-5 Hagerstown or 2-4 Fountain Central in the championship game at 5. I just went ahead and put them in the championship game. Taylor is 5-0 overall, 1-0 in the Hoosier Heritage. It's their second 5-0 start in the last 3 years. In 2022-23, they began the season 12-0. They beat Delphi 61-33 in their only game of the week. They led 24-16 at the half, then outscored the Oracles 21-6 in the third quarter to pull away. It was the same 3 stars for the Titans as it is every night. Sophomore Keyshawn Galloway, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Junior Javon Harris, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. And junior Dre McClatchy, 12 points and 7 rebounds. Taylor hosts 3-3 rival Eastern on Friday in a conference game. Then they should get their biggest tests of the season when they go to an 8-team 3-day holiday tournament at Delphi, starting Saturday against 3-3 Pioneer. Tri-Central had an impressive weekend with a pair of wins over Clinton Central and Madison Grant. It's the second straight season that they've swept Clinton Central and Madison Grant on the same weekend. They did it this year by a combined 34 points. On Friday, they beat Clinton Central 64-51 and Madison Grant 56-35 on Saturday. Both games were at home. Senior Drake Ramsier had 34 points over the weekend. Tri-Central is at a 2-game single-day holiday tournament at Morristown. We'll talk with Tri-Central head coach Cam Hindman about the field on Friday morning's holiday tournament preview. But first, here he is to talk about last weekend's success. Coach, fantastic weekend for the Trojans. Big conference win over Clinton Central, then 21-point win over a pretty good Madison Grant team.
It was a very good weekend. When you set out and look at the schedule at the start of the season, you look at the week leading up into Christmas, and then especially if you are running a tournament during that time, and you want to go into that time on a high note, and our kids responded to that challenge that we laid out a couple of weeks ago. This is where we wanted to be, and they got it done. I was very very proud of my team the last couple of nights. Um, it's starting to come together for a couple of them, and you can see it. And it's from a coaching standpoint, just a lot of fun when things like that happen.
3 wins in a row against some pretty good competition. I know you came into the season thinking that your team could be competitive with good programs, but to see it happen has to make you pretty happy.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think honestly, what's more important is it makes the boys understand that the things that we've been telling them are correct, and gives them a lot of confidence that they didn't have at the beginning of the season. We've got several kids that are playing in roles that they've never played before. Drake Ramsier, for example, we've talked about before, has for years been a the number 3 on the floor, sometimes even a number 4, depending on how many guards we were playing. And this year, he's got to take more of a floor general type of role and play a 2, and a lot of times a 1. And it's been tough for him, and it's starting to click. Logan Sargent has kind of gotten thrown right into the fire from the start, going straight from JV to varsity with very little time last year, other than a couple of 30 seconds here and there at the end of the game. And he's getting better every day. And the guys around them are starting to learn how to play with them in those new roles. And it's just been a little bit of a process, but they're getting it, and it's starting to show the rewards for putting that work in. So again, very very proud of those guys for taking those roles on and getting better every day with them.
Seems like Drake had a really good weekend.
Drake had a great weekend. Finally, I'm so happy for him. He had 22 against Clinton Central, and then he had um, 12 again, the leading scorer in both games against Madison Grant. But more importantly than that, Drake did a lot of things that we need a senior guard to do outside of scoring, and we've been kind of encouraging him and waiting on him to do those things, and it finally, I think, clicked for him this weekend. But his play and his leadership were a big factors in both wins this weekend.
Eastern is 3-3 overall, 1-1 in the conference. The Comets have now been 1-1, 2-2, and 3-3 this season. They lost Friday 83-49 at Sheridan in a Hoosier Heartland contest, then won 67-42 at home over Cowan on Saturday. They go to 5-0 Taylor on Friday. To the Three Rivers Conference, our only team that we cover in the Three Rivers is Northwestern. They are 4-2 overall, 2-0 in the conference. They are unbeaten in the history of all time in the Three Rivers Conference. 2-0. They're a half game behind Peru in the conference standings. They improved to 2-0 in the conference with a 43-31 win at Rochester on Friday. They held Rochester to 25% shooting. The Tigers are off until January 3rd and January 4th when they host a really good 6-1 Manchester team and a big Three Rivers Conference contest on Friday, then go to Eastern to face the 3-3 Comets on Saturday, January 4th. Thank you so much to Coach Hindman and Coach Ballenger for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. Thanks most of all to you for listening. Without you listening, there wouldn't be a podcast. Please go right now and like, subscribe, or follow us at SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, or YouTube so you don't miss a single segment. And it would be very helpful if you would tell a friend. Merry Christmas! Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. I love Susie.